plummeting to Earth. Nature's time bomb. And terror in the snow. But what happened next? The world's most amazing video clips and the incredible science behind them. We've unearthed the scariest, most unbelievable, and the funniest moments. Watch the drama unfold as we freeze the action. See if you can decide what happened next.
Let's go.
Low tech, high risk. This is wingsuit flying, hurtling through the air at more than 200 kilometers an hour. Brushing within millimeters of instant death. It's precision flying pushed to the limit. On average, this extreme sport claims more than 6 lives each year. Despite the risks, the top flyers seek out ever more dangerous challenges. Sebastian Alvarez is about to put his skill to the ultimate test. His goal? To fly between these twin towers in Reñaca, Chile. Sebastian's wingsuit can take him 2.5 meters forwards for every meter he descends. That's his glide ratio. With no suitable cliff top to leap from, he must jump from a paraglider, 800 meters up, 800 meters from the towers. Just 12 meters apart, the slightest miscalculation could be fatal. As 0 hour approaches, he hitches a lift on a motorized paraglider. And he's off, immediately dropping hard and fast, losing altitude and gaining airspeed. Just seconds into the flight, Sebastian has reached 225 kilometers an hour and has already descended 400 meters. But he's aiming way off to the right of the towers. Sebastian uses his head as a rudder, combined with tiny movements of his body, to make small but crucial adjustments to his flight path. But he still looks to be off target. So what happens next? Does he fly to the side? Straight through? Or will he have to abort his mission? Sebastian hurtles towards the towers. It turns out he never was off track, but deliberately flying wide to compensate for the crosswind. He's fast reaching the point of no return. Until, with just 2 seconds to the gap, he's committed to flying through or crashing. He swoops through, absolutely dead center. And time to open his parachute for a safe landing. A perfect demonstration of how, with just a little fabric and a lot of guts, a human being really can fly. A fast-moving cloud of snow thundering down a mountain at up to 300 kilometers per hour. This avalanche is heading for the small town of Val d'Isère in France, and a street full of chalets, cars and people. But what happens next? Are the buildings flattened? Are cars overturned? Or does life carry on as normal? They were lucky. This lightweight powder snow avalanche did no structural damage. Another mountain, another avalanche. Triggered as the sun warms the slopes in the French Savoy. And this time bearing down on a chairlift carrying more than 70 passengers, suspended 8 meters above the snow. As the avalanche thunders just centimeters from their dangling skis. What happens next? Remember, the powder avalanche was hurtling along at 300 kilometers an hour. But this one looked much slower, travelling at around 30 kilometers an hour. So, with this slower avalanche, will the lift be left standing? Or will it buckle under the force of the snow? The lift is no match for the fearsome force of the snow. Which demolishes the steel support towers, leaving scores of skiers dangling in need of rescue. Miraculously, no one is injured. The reason this avalanche was so much more devastating than the first is down to water. We all know that snow melts as it gets warmer. Look closely and you'll find round, coarse grains developing, sandwiched by meltwater. As this water seeps downwards, it dissolves the bonds between the grains. As a result, the snow becomes unstuck, triggering a wet snow avalanche. Saturated with water, it's far slower than its drier cousin, but it's also denser, and at 10 tons per square metre, much, much heavier. Which means, despite its stately speed, it packs a powerful punch. As no one travelling on the Savoy ski lift will ever forget. Though it's worth pointing out, you don't have to be on a mountain to be caught out by the power of snow. This dead whale washed up on the beach on the Faroe Islands is a big problem. The sperm whale's body has been bloating here for 2 days. It's this man's job to try and deflate it. So what happens next? So why did it explode? The dead whale's gut is packed with bacteria, which normally help digest food. But now they're digesting the whale itself, releasing a mix of alcohol, acid and gas, including highly explosive methane. Pressure has been steadily building up inside the whale's stomach, inflating it to more than twice its normal size. The process that created all that gas is called fermentation. And it's probably better known for giving champagne its kick. You can find it in all kinds of places, from landfill sites in California to the icy depths of Alaska. These researchers want to investigate these gases with the help of a big stick and a lighter. So, how high a fireball will it make? 1 meter, 3 meters, or 5 meters? They unleash a flare 5.5 meters high. In the lake, as in the whale, feasting bacteria have pumped out methane. It's trapped under the ice until, with a poke and a light, it escapes explosively. Luckily, no one was carrying a light when this big beast blew. What goes up must come down. At least that's according to the universal law of gravity.
Look how steep that hill is.
On a drive through Ayrshire in Scotland, Billy Sinclair stops his car and puts this to the test.
But there's nobody inside.
So what happens next?
Look at that. Now, is that not unbelievable? And look at how steep that hill is.
Billy is convinced his 2-ton car is rolling uphill.
On its own. She's going at a good one.
And he's not alone.
Yay!
This is Gravity Hill in California.
It's on neutral, and we're still moving.
In fact, this mystery is actually an optical illusion, which is so convincing it's become an urban myth.
Let's do it again.
Typically, these roads are short, less than 100 meters long, in natural landscapes. No buildings to show which way is up. In reality, the road may slope downwards from left to right. The spanner in the works is the more distant hill. If that slopes the same way as the road, but steeper, then our brains effectively rotate what we're seeing. The background becomes the flat horizon, and the nearer road now appears to slope the other way, uphill. But take this metal frame, it definitely slopes down from left to right. And the wooden cylinder proves it. But what happens to the metal cone? So is this experiment defying gravity? Well, no. This time it's a trick of physics. The cone is travelling downhill, but it's a different downhill to the one we're focused on. Although the sides of the cone are rolling uphill, the main body of the cone is actually dropping as the sides of the frame get further apart. We think it's going uphill, but as with the car, it's an illusion. Here's the same effect with snooker balls, which appear to climb up two wooden cues placed at an angle, but their trajectory is actually downwards. Newton's law stands. There's still only one way for objects to fall. Coming up, one-wheel wonder, in a spin, and falling to earth with a bump. Innsbruck, Austria, 2014. Greg Rowe is about to leap from a 55-meter crane. Like any falling human, it's not the drop he needs to worry about, but his landing. The only thing that stands between Greg and certain death is a 4.5-meter thick airbag. So here's a question. Is it enough to cushion his fall? He's made it. The air in the bag absorbed the fall, slowing Greg down for a safe landing. It's not just your bones you risk smashing when you hit the ground. Some internal organs, like the liver and heart, are heavier than others. Subjected to sudden impact, rapid deceleration can cause fatal damage. Survival from height depends on breaking your fall on impact, reducing the otherwise lethal G-force, and allowing your internal organs more time to slow down. So how high is too high to free fall? In Helsinge, Denmark, Stig Gunther is hoping to set a freefall world record. He's leaping more than 100 meters, nearly twice as high as Greg's jump. On impact, he'll be traveling 145 kilometers per hour. Missing, of course, would be fatal. Even hitting the airbag, he'll be subjected to near lethal force. So here's a question. Stig will be falling from 100 meters, reaching 145 kilometers per hour. What's the minimum depth the airbag can be for a safe landing? 2.5 meters, 5 meters, or 10 meters? Stig's airbag is actually 5 meters deep, which means he's planning for a punishing 20 Gs. Survivable, but only just. Even plummeting from this massive height, the airbag slows him down just enough. And the only thing he smashes is the previous world record by an amazing 5 meters. Riding a unicycle takes years of practice. Once mastered, some people can't resist taking it to the extreme. Lutz Eickholtz rides his in places most people can't imagine going with 2 wheels. But some of his most amazing stunts happen when he's hardly moving at all. A unicyclist must keep their centre of gravity directly above the contact point of the wheel. Leaning forward or back shifts the centre of gravity ahead or behind it, and the rider starts to fall. A good unicyclist pedals faster or slower to bring the wheel back under their centre of gravity, so they move forward while staying in control. Perfectly balancing, leaning and pedaling makes unicycling tricky enough on solid ground. So surely it's impossible on a moving surface. For this trick, Lutz plans to cross a wobbly 16-meter slackline strung between 2 trees. Can he make it? Or does the slackline flip him off? He's across. The wobbling surface makes no difference. Lutz makes constant adjustments to his centre of gravity, not just forward and back, but his flailing arms ensure his sideways balance is perfect too, keeping him on the straight and narrow. Spinning on the spot looks easy, but it's not. And that's standing the right way up. Tougher still is the neck-wrenching and vomit-inducing head spin. It works like a human gyroscope. Keep turning and you retain your balance. With the right technique, you can even control your speed. The trick is to change your body shape. Arms and legs out distributes your mass widely around the spinning axis. Limbs in, and the mass occupies a smaller area, making you spin faster. Stick your arms or legs out again, and you slow down. It's what scientists call conservation of angular momentum. However, it takes incredible core strength to stay upright. Champion head spinner Aichi Ono of Japan wants to break his own world head spinning record. It currently stands at 141 spins in 1 minute. So can he top that? Aichi starts with his limbs stretched out wide to maintain balance. But he'll need to speed up if he's to break the record. As the clock ticks down, Aichi tightens up his body shape to speed up his spin. Conservation of angular momentum in action. His momentum finally slows. But he has one more trick up his sleeve. By bicycling his legs, he's able to squeeze a couple more turns, which takes him beyond his existing best by just 1 spin. His total, an amazing 142 revolutions, a new world record. But if you think you can do this at your local gym, just remember, even a simple spin can end in disaster. Whether it's a spear or a ball, there's always someone who wants to throw it further. Angle and velocity are critical to success, as are weight and aerodynamics. So which of these can go furthest? A javelin, a boomerang, a frisbee, or a football? The round football's let down by its poor aerodynamics. There's far less drag on a slimline javelin, but it's heavy to launch and doesn't get past 100 meters. This saucer-shaped frisbee goes further, 152 meters, with a stunning catch to top it off. Which leaves the boomerang. In Australia, David Shumey is hoping to set a world record for the longest ever boomerang throw. So, can he beat the 152-meter frisbee throw? It's landed in a tree, but the throw counts. It's a massive 427 meters, roughly the length of 4 soccer pitches, and well over twice any ball throw ever recorded. So what's the science? The boomerang's curved surfaces give it lift. Just like an aircraft's wings, it literally is flying. And its sharp edges make for very little drag, meaning it soars a long way. But one thing David's boomerang will never do is return. A returning boomerang has arms that are slightly twisted, like propeller blades. As it spins, the boomerang lifts like a helicopter. The uplift is always stronger on the outside of the turn, where the wings are spinning forward. This makes the boomerang tilt and travel in a big circle, ultimately returning to whoever threw it, or somebody standing too close. While no returning boomerang has ever travelled as far as David's throw stick, having one would have at least saved him a long walk.